When I was in high school, maybe around 16, 17, I thought that by the time I was 25, my entire life would have been completely stable. I would have had two kids, a beautiful mansion house, bachelor's degree, nice car. My job would be completely stable. I would love my life. And here I am. I'm 25 now, living with my parents, pretty much broke, and hoping that what I'm doing now will help me get to that vision I had when I was a teenager. I think we all had this misconception as a teenager that it was going to be a lot easier to achieve what we wanted, school, college, kids, a good life, um, a nice job, getting your degree, like living, paying rent. Like, I'm not even close to those things right now that I wanted. And surprisingly, I actually know a lot of people in my age group, like my graduating class, who are in the same boat. Some are doing good and some aren't doing that good. And the economy is terrible right now, 2025. Everything is so expensive. It's hard to live out on your own. Things are changing. I literally went to Target yesterday and a carton of eggs was $12. It's the end of the world at that point. A lot of people are still living with their parents nowadays. Houses are expensive. You can't get, an apartment. You can't even buy a house. And a lot of people I know are working like dead end jobs there, or they're even at jobs that they wanted, but they're not happy anymore and they want to quit or they want to leave and it's not fulfilling to them. And other people can't even get a job or they don't want a job. So how did I get to this point? Why am I not rich and internet guru with my online coaching business or social media marketing agency or my community that I have my subscribers pay for? Why am I not wealthy? Why am I not balling like every other internet YouTuber guru says that I should be by the time I'm 21 years old? Well, honestly, we have to start way back to when I was in high school. When I was graduating, I remember working at McDonald's for 10.50 an hour. And at the time, 10.50 was a lot of money to me. 10.50, my paychecks were like $300, $400. I didn't even know what to do with that amount of money at 17. I felt rich. But it's McDonald's. There's no future. There's no progression working at McDonald's. Yeah, you could be a manager or whatever, but that's not for me. And you'd always get yelled at by rude customers and have to deal with people complaining and all that. I'd probably get yelled at like once or twice a day. But by the time I graduated, I left because I had older people working there who had been working there for years, and I knew I didn't want to be like them. No offense to them, but I want something different. And my future wasn't going to be at McDonald's. So fast forward to graduation, I'm 17 going on 18 and I'm kind of clueless with what I want to do with my life. I remember I either wanted to go to school for psychology to be like a therapist or a psychologist, or I wanted to do some type of business, marketing. That seemed kind of interesting at the time. But then I was like, where's that money going to come from? Because I don't have any of that. And I'm not going to burden my parents, my family with all these student loans, all this debt that we have to pay for. And if I did go to school, that meant that I would have had to work, part time, almost full time to pay for all of that. And that didn't make any sense to me because I didn't even know if I wanted to do that in the first place. So, luckily, at the time, my cousin was in the Air Force, and I would see him on Instagram, and I would look at all of his, pictures and photos. He's going to Japan, traveling to Europe, doing all these things, and I'm here looking at it going, wow, that looks interesting. That's cool. I want to travel. I want to like do some things away from my local town. So I have this short window of after graduation to like the beginning of the first college semester in the fall, and I needed to decide quickly or else, I was going to be behind everybody because everyone else is doing something. And I'm here like, should I do this or should I do that? And it was a no-brainer for me. I knew that I was going to join the Air Force because that seemed like the most optimal, best outcome for me at the time. And looking back, it was. And I got super lucky. I was stationed in Las Vegas for 4 years of my life, got to live on my own, be independent, learn how to be a little bit disciplined, take care of myself. And I don't regret it at all. And I mean, it was a great time for me. And I served 4 years. And nearing the end of my enlistment, those 4 years, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I had a real understanding of the things that I didn't want to do with my life. Um, and I had the benefit of being in the military on my side now. So, towards the end of that enlistment, I'm at another crossroads where I have to decide, like, do I want to spend another 4, 6 years in the military, or do I want to give it all up, go back to being a normal person, quote unquote, and start something new, something fresh, something scary and terrifying, honestly. And I ended up leaving, which was really hard because the military is very comfortable, paychecks. I had great roommates. I was enjoying my life. It was pretty simple. I was very comfortable, but I knew I didn't want to stay, and I never planned on staying anyway. So I had to leave regardless, right? And I remember people asking me, like, what are you going to do when you get out? Because, they don't see themselves ever getting out themselves. And for me, it was easy. Yeah, I was literally like, I'm gonna do anything but this, um, because even though it was comfortable, like I said, I wanted more, and I knew I wasn't gonna stay, so I left. And as soon as I left, I was in panic mode. I needed to do something fast. Like, I couldn't just lay around and live at my parents' house for free. So I was either going to work all the time, full time, right away, or I was going to go to school. And I decided on going to school. Thankfully, using the GI Bill, which completely pays for almost everything. And my plan at the time was to become a personal trainer, so I majored in kinesiology. And that was my goal. I was really into fitness. I'm still really into fitness. And I was working towards that kinesiology degree in order to be a trainer. So now it's like 2022, 2023. And then I found out a close friend of mine actually works at the gym close to my house. And he told me that you actually don't need a bachelor's degree or a master's degree to be a trainer. You actually just need a certification. And as a matter of fact, it's probably a big waste of your time if you do get a bachelor's degree to just become a personal trainer anyway, because the bare minimum to be a trainer is that certification. You could get the bachelor's to if you wanted to have a leg up on other people, but what you really need is just that certification. So I'm like, okay, well, I go online, I get my certification, I do the course, I get my NASM. I'm officially a personal trainer now. So I'm still going to school, and I'm a personal trainer part-time. So that was fun. And I thought that was it, I'm finally a personal trainer now. I get to learn and do my thing. I enjoyed it for a moment. But fast forward maybe about 6 months, and I realized that it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's that there's not really a future for progression. Like, when you're a personal trainer at a local community gym, that's it. That's all you're going to be. There's no, like, you can't be a personal trainer senior or whatever. And your salary is kind of capped out. And personally, I want to make a lot of money, and the only way to make money really at gyms is being the, like, manager and going the corporate route and becoming, the CEO or the whatever. And as a personal trainer, you don't really have a ladder you can climb, unfortunately. But even though I enjoyed it, I like teaching people, I like showing people the ropes. I was making minimum wage as a trainer next to these other people who had bachelor's degrees. So I knew that I wasn't going to stay there long, and I needed to find something else. And then, funny thing is, one of my clients that I used to train was a physical therapist assistant. And I used to ask her a bunch of questions about, like, how much money she made and, what that job entails and what she does. And she was making a good amount of money, helping people recover, teaching people how to return to function, really, because they're suffering from injuries and all of that. And that really interested me at the time, rather than, this personal training route. So I ended up really looking into it, and I found programs local to my area, and I ended up applying to the one local to me, and I ended up not getting in. You know, I wasn't able to get in. My grades weren't good enough. And then magically, I applied to a farther one, like an hour and a half from my area, and somehow I got in. I got accepted into this program. Literally, like, I feel like luck. I feel like I'm really lucky in life. I don't know. Like, I just have a good amount of luck, I guess. And I got in. But there were 3 to 4 months before the program started to where I I was in limbo. Like, I had to wait these 3 to 4 months, and I was unemployed. I'm not making any money. So I had to find somewhere to work, something to do. And I ended up working as an Amazon delivery driver. Um, if you're super curious, I made an entire video about it. I'll put a link here. But the job sucked. You know, it was hot as balls, sweating in the back of the van during the summertime. I was delivering like 300 plus packages a single day. I remember the group that I got hired with, they all quit within like the first week. So there was a guy that quit like on the first day. He just didn't come back on the first day. You know, and I don't blame them. The job was tough. So, you know, I applaud anyone who can work as a delivery driver. It's not easy. But I worked there for about a month. Ended up quitting because, you know, screw that. But finally, those months passed, and now this was 2024. I'm in the PTA program now, you know, doing my thing. And of course, it's stressful. It's a new thing, but I enjoy it. You know, I met a lot of great people in my class, and this is what I'm doing now. And I've still got another year left of schooling. It's going to get even harder. But I guess the point of this video is like, you never know where you're going to end up. You know, you could think you have a plan figured out, and then life just kind of throws you like a mean curveball, and you just end up somewhere you didn't even realize you were going to end up. And most people, no matter how old they are, they probably don't really have it figured out, just like you and I. Some people might appear to have their life together, but I don't know. Something is like, some of my friends who are in great situations, their life is so much better than mine. And I know you're not supposed to compare or whatever, but even them, they're like, something's missing from my life. Like, I'm not happy where I am, you know? Everyone, like, wants more and is struggling with something. And that's just how it is, you know? I mean, is being in PTA the end-all be-all? Like, my ultimate life goal? Is this the last thing I'm ever going to do? Probably not. But at the moment, this is what I'm passionate about. This is where I am in the present moment. Like, this is what my life is about, becoming a PTA. And if this is what I want to do right now, then I'm going to do it. And wherever it leads me is where it leads me, you know? So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you have some insane life story you want to talk about, I'll read it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. I yap pretty much all the time. Yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.